building a story and connecting it with an audience. For one part, it's really communicating real-life experiences and stories of individuals and real faces and people who are experiencing these things.
Before having a communication guru or a consultant that tells you how to communicate and how to write pieces and opinion pieces and how to have your social media strategy, it should be built on a basis of transparent communication.
Imagine you have to give your whole presentation in 8 minutes. For my case, talking about who I am, what Coral Vita is about, why we're special, what we're trying to achieve, and hopefully, what my ask is from the audience. You write out the script for 8 minutes. Then give that same presentation, but cut it in half. You've got 4 minutes. Then cut it in half again, you've got 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 8 seconds. You've basically got 1, maybe 2 sentences to say who you are, what you're about, in such a way that someone wants to learn more. So you've gone from 8 minutes to 8 seconds, and now build it back up. Take that 8 seconds and go to 15, to 30, to 1 minute, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 8 minutes, and then see how much your story, your presentation, the way you tell it has changed from the original 8 minutes down to 8 seconds to your new 8 minutes. It's a great way to figure out what are the words that really matter to you.
The thing I want to get across is really the goal that I have. And so once they understand my goal, they can understand why I'm talking about what I'd be talking about.
I think people will understand it when they know that there's a real human aspect to what you're saying and not just the numbers and statistics.
We feel more familiar, more relatable to people that we can actually trust. When you ask them their questions, they are direct in their answer. The same way a person is expected to act is exactly the way an organization is expected to act.
It is very important to let people remember you in the way you want them to remember you.
You need to stand out, but you also need to be very respectful and polite about it. So it's really important to make sure that you have sound bites or word choices or phrases that make people remember you.
Introduce myself well, of course, with a bit of humor.
One of the things that I believe it's very important is the impact you're giving on the society. People will always remember the impact you did.
I think just having a positive attitude around people is how people would remember me.
I always talk about chocolates because it's something that makes people happy. Before you do a pitch, I ask people to raise their hands if they've had chocolate today, and they kind of remember that because more or less someone would have stopped by the coffee shop and had a chocolate cake or a hot chocolate before they went to see you. And so they kind of remember that and it sticks with them. It also helps, like now when I do a pitch, I show them a bar of chocolate and then I show them this is a bar of chocolate, something that's ordinary and relatable. But then I break down the story of what goes on behind them and tell them about individual stories of farmers who are impacted by typhoons and how this bar of chocolate could save their lives. So it's really illustrating something and giving people a vision that's right here and right now and that stands out, and people kind of remember that.
It's very important to have a way of convincing people and portraying your ideas clearly and elaborately.
First of all, the story behind it, why you started or what journey brought you there.
A relative story where they can see that they can also picture themselves in me.
And then as you're going with that, you can tell them all about the nitty-gritty information and details.
We use a lot of visuals in our communication. It's very frank, very transparent.
And then mentioning how I got inspired or who I got inspired by.
And also give them an idea of hope or what you plan to accomplish, really your vision, and prove to them that you're the right person to do the job.
Sometimes you're pitching for money. Sometimes you're pitching for support, for a network, for opportunities, for a partnership, to convince someone of something.
There's not only storytelling, but it's also convincing and negotiating terms for how you want to move forward. A pitch is always crafted to its audience. It depends on who you're speaking to, what you want to accomplish, what you want to come out of it, or what you want to receive after that.
Understanding the society and the communities and the surrounding that you're talking to is very important.
In order to know why you're doing your work, they need to know what the problems are that you're trying to tackle and solve. If you have a very academic audience, it's important to be quite generous with details and numbers and statistics and data, because those people that's what they're usually looking for. They want to prove that what you're doing is viable.
Ideas are worth nothing until they receive validation from the market.
It's important to show tangible evidence that you're onto something.
People will not trust words. They will trust actions. They want to see results.
You will really have to put in the work first before any sort of funding comes to you.
You always see people who are still at a very, very, very early stage in their idea, and they are like, I just need some money and I can take it and I can start working with it. No, before the money, you need a lot of research. You need a lot of market validation. There's a lot of information that you need to have about your idea that you still don't have. There's a lot of things that you can do on the ground without having money.
And applying for funding now is really showcasing the work you've done, putting it as a presentation and just saying, this is what I've done and this is where I want to be in the future.
Don't ask for hundreds of thousands of millions and your project only needs few thousand. It is okay to take baby steps. You're going to grow bigger in that way.
If a person sees you 1, 2, 3, 4 times and you are available in the ecosystem, there is a bigger chance that you have credibility and you have a name, and this entity will potentially invest in you. The more you are out there, the more there's an exposure and awareness to your name, the bigger and the higher the chances to get funding.
There's a lot of ways to go about networking. I think it's just really to put yourself out there.
Just being confident in what I do, making sure that the person I want to network with understands my future goals.
People, when they go out to network, would go to social events and seminars that are just specifically niche to their industry. It's important to diversify and look at the interconnectivities, because there's more opportunity, I think, to build and innovate and transition into those industries and connect it with your work.
Everyone wants to see your vision rather than exactly what you're doing today, because that's what they want to be a part of. They want to be a part of your vision.